Had a good physical, full padded practice today. Got a little bit of it was muggy and hot today. We needed that, um, but I thought our kids did a really good job with practice. We, did situations, a lot of situations, 3rd and 1, some goal line situations, 2-point situations today, and starting to get the team ready for the scrimmage on Saturday. Tomorrow will be a spiders practice, but it'll have some length to it. It'll be about an hour and 50 minutes, where next Friday probably won't be quite that long, but we're still in camp mode and we're still in install. So we are going to have a pretty lengthy practice tomorrow and then a full-fledged scrimmage on Saturday.
What would you say just about where you are in installation pace, and what you've seen? So what you've been good at, what you need to pick up?
Well, installation wise, I would say we're probably, what are we in practice now? 6 days into practice. I'd say we're probably about 75 or 80% on both sides of the ball of what we're going to install. We still have probably early part of next week to finish up through install. I like what we're doing. I think we're throwing and catching the ball well. Defensively, I think we're keeping the edge well, running to the ball well. We're finding some more linebackers and corners, and we're able to play multiple coverages. So I like where we're at. Not a lot of, what I do, I watch every ounce of film after practice and ND and everything. And then I click on what I believe are busts. And, we probably averaging 3 to 7 a day, and that's 2 spotting on both fields. So I feel like we're doing a really good job there.
Today was the day that you talked about Snacks might go to nickel, and we saw him there today. Yeah. And it looked like Singletary and Braxton were the ones. Just maybe where do you stand in that kind of experimentation?
Well, I like the question. It's a fair question, but we're still not. We're a long way out. We're trying to determine that, and I think that's why our guys are kind of sometimes they'll go with the 1, some with the 2s. Moody's the same way, and Day was going to go with the 1s, and he had a little bit of a toe infection, and he wasn't able to go. So, but I think we do believe that we've got 4+ corners that we can win with, and if we believe that, certainly Snacks moving into the hog position might be valuable to the team. We'll have to wait and see. I want to make sure we have the corners first.
Besides Chris Pupaw and Crook, who are some of the other linebackers? You said you found some more linebackers. Who's some of them caught your eye?
Brad Spence. I really like Brad Spence and Sanford, both of them. But Brad Spence makes plays every day. As a matter of fact, and I'm not great at singling out one guy, but I did single him out after pass today. He seemed like he was all over the field. Jaheim Thomas is coming on. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do a whole lot this summer, but. Yeah, so I think we're getting closer to 5 there that we think with Sanford coming on, I think, and Manny Powell. I think we'll be able to have enough linebackers to get.
A couple 3 defensive linemen on the side today, or anything serious there, Rose or Stewart?
No, I appreciate the question. No, hopefully we can get them all back by Saturday. Maybe 1 or 2 of them will be tomorrow, but. I didn't think they were either one of them. Well, there's 3 of them, I think. Stu just injured the back of his heel today, but I assume he'll be back tomorrow. But Tank and Kiwi, Tanks was a little bit of a knee, and Kiwi was an ankle. But I think if they're not back by Saturday, they'll be back Monday.
Was Gene Thomas, what was his deal off the summer? He said he was limited.
Just was injured. He just had an injury that we really want to take care of. We were really light on that injury, but he's certainly healed back all now.
There's been so much talk about the transfer wide receivers, and they look good and stuff. But one guy that doesn't seem to get mentioned a lot, and every time you look up, it's a 50-yard touchdown, is Bakke. What have you seen out of him, and is he gonna be able to help you?
Heck, yeah, he's gonna be able to help us. I mean, Bakke is a wonderful person, and he plays 90 mile an hour all the time, and it's important to him. He has improved in every aspect of his game: speed, strength, awareness of what he's doing. But Bakke will be on the field as much as anybody this year. I really like the kid. He's awful hard worker.
Sam, have you learned anything about your tight ends through 6 days?
Yeah.
Because when we're out there, it seems like Blue Pass is just making a
That's
catch or a
great.
block or something.
Yeah, I tell you, maybe yes, we have. Maybe one we don't talk about as much is Francis Sherman. I mean, he has done. Man, we're awful honored he chose us. He's done a really nice job out there. Comes another one, and of course, we have Tyrus Washington, who's done a nice job and back. So we're sitting there. Shamar Easter's done a really nice job. It's just, he's not quite there yet. But he got here later and didn't have the spring ball. So obviously, it's hard for freshmen to catch up that fast. But we've got 5 tight ends that we do like. Luke seems to make plays every day. Tyrus Washington's made some really nice catches as well.
Hard to judge the lineman until you get the pads on,
Yeah.
full pads on. What'd you think of today, and what are you looking for tomorrow in the scrimmage from getting a look at those guys?
Well, we still have battles going on, up there. Pikes and Harris and Chambly probably are the ones that are in the most battle there at their spots. But I like just because you haven't played doesn't mean you can't play. And I like our tackles. I like Dev and I like Kudus in there. And I think Limmer's playing at a high. And Latham. They're both playing really well. But there's still battles with Braun and Tykees and obviously Harris. We think he can play several spots, but he's obviously has an opportunity to play for us in Chandler. That Amari Wiggins is a guy that I think he's going to end up being our at the least our backup center, and that helped us big time by be able to leave Kudus out at tackle. I like the group. They're a smart group. Josh Street's come on too, and I think he's right now he'd be the 10th lineman, and they're in the 2 deep. So he's done a really nice job as well.
Idea how many plays you want to go on the scrimmage, and just what are you looking for out of it?
I told the coaches that, we are 12 to 15 on a sheet of paper. When you go out there, it's 12 to 15. You go back again, it's 12 to 15. And then you have all kinds of different scenarios. Third down, red area high, red area low, all kinds of different situations. Usually that scrimmage goes about 50. It depends on how much 2 minute goes, or this next week we get the ball back 2 minutes, so that's a little bit more plays. But normally that's between a 50 and a 55 play scrimmage for each kid, besides the threes. Now the threes are going to get 30 reps. What I told the staff was in the scrimmage portion of it. Now the whole thing's a scrimmage, but in the move the ball scrimmage, the live, all of it's live, but the move the ball situation, I'll probably err on 12, a little closer to 12 than I will 15. That'd be the only difference. So it might make the scrimmage down to 42, 43 play to a possible 50 instead of the opposite.
Jacoby and Cade have both had their moments, especially today. I think they both made some nice passes. Is that a battle right now for the backup spot? I know Jacoby's been pretty much running with the twos. Does he have?
I think it's always a battle. I do. I think it's always a battle. But Jacoby Criswell is one heck of a quarterback. And so is Fortin. I mean, Criswell has an elite special arm, and he can fly. And they've both done a nice job. Criswell is really playing well as well.
One more, Coach. I know we didn't get you since the last time the college football world kind of changed on its axis. I'm wondering if, you know, you mind sharing your thoughts on just what's happened with the realignment and everything recently.
You know, guys, nothing's happened in the SEC. So for me to be concerned about what's going on in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and all that kind of stuff, I'm in two-a-days. I mean, a lot of times, and I appreciate the question, I do. I mean, some things really are out of our control. And they're out of our control. I don't know what my opinion really matters, to be perfectly honest with you. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect our team. It doesn't affect the state of Arkansas. And the people that are going through it, I think they'd have a better opinion of it than me, to be honest.
Linda, now, are there any particular areas of the team you think have made the biggest improvements or units that you've been pleased with the most?
Tight end. I feel a lot better about tight end than I did coming into camp. Number of linebackers. I'll be honest with you guys. My biggest concern was linebacker in depth coming in. Tight end, linebacker in depth. And I believe with Spence and Sanford coming on, along with Manny Powell, I think we'll be fine at linebacker. And with what we had at tight end and the additions that we had come in, I think we're going to be just fine there too. So those are my two biggest concerns, along with all our tackles good enough to win offensively games in the SEC, and I certainly believe in them as well.
You said you needed a muggy day, so that's reference to the fact we've had unseasonably cool, but the players have got to like that unseasonably cool. I wanted to get your thoughts on the balance of needing the heat, and then is the AC online for next week? What do you think?
Well, all right, I'll answer the first part of it. The first part is I got a little nervous, you know. Every morning was a lightning rain, you know, and so I got a little nervous because obviously the reason you go in the morning is because you want to have great execution and you want to go fast, you want to play well and all that. And in other words, you're not a day of survival. You're a day of, you know, seeing who you have and trying to execute at a high tempo. Yeah, I think after 2 or 3, 4 days of that, I was like, man, I'd like to have some heat, and we sure got it today. I do believe that we can get them acclimated to a 2:30 situation in 2 weeks. And so, yeah. And the other thing is, I think what happened, it rained so much and we had all those things happen. I think it put us behind just a little bit. From my understanding, what I've been told is Saturday, they're going to, as soon as we get out of here, we'll probably get out of here as a coaching staff around 5 or 6 o'clock, and they'll shut down the electricity and get in there and fill her up, I hope. That's what I've been told.
You mentioned Tank, but we saw John Morgan over there too. So is he in that same boat with us?
Yeah. Again, I don't think that's anything more than hopefully tomorrow he'll be back or whatever, but nothing, just a lower leg injury, nothing bad at all. We have not had a guy during camp that, you know, certainly can't play for the season or can't play next week.
I'll sneak in one recruiting question. With the Pac-12 pretty much dissolving, I'm not asking about your thoughts on the alignment, but will that, since those schools out there got to travel now, Big Ten stuff, is this a chance for you to possibly look into recruiting California and that area a little bit more?
Yeah, you know, we have, you know, we've talked to kids in Vegas, you know, we talked to guys out in California and things, and we've done that. We have, that's a good question. We've talked about that as a staff, you know, with, you know, if they're going to travel, you know, to Michigan and all that, and they, you know, they travel here and be a lot closer, you know, so we have talked about that, but, you know, they still got to fly over a whole lot of schools. So I think our philosophy, and you know what it is, we like to stay, you know, somewhere where there's a possibility that you can get in your car and get here. We seem to do a better job with that area. But yes, that's a good thought and a good question. We've thought about that.
Checking out.
I'm gonna lay off this,
Yeah.
and it's great. Now I drink it all the time, and people's gonna text me and say I shouldn't and all that. But I'm 61. I feel pretty good.
Speaking of age, I was looking over Patrick.
If you have two of those guys on your team, you feel pretty good too.
Speaking of age, I was looking at Patrick Kudus' bio. He's got a birthday coming up in a couple of days, but he's just 18 right now.
Oh,
They're true freshmen on his team that are older than him. What does that say about him and his ceiling and to be that young? And where does he really need to, I guess, improve the most?
Consistency. He just has to be consistent because I mean, you look at his reps and he's as good as anybody on that field at a certain time. A great player is a consistent player, so he has to be a little bit more consistent. And that's going to come with reps because, as you said, the guy's going to turn. Did you say 18? 19. He's going to turn. You know, I took a step back a couple grades. You know, that needed to, you know, catch up a little bit. So I think I've like 20 something when I graduated from the school. But he graduated early, huh?
20 something.
22, 23, something like that.
Well, on the other side with Devon Manuel, where has he made the biggest stride? Obviously, his weight has been, you know, I think,
Hands,
but
his technique, his hands, his technique. And anytime you have success, this tells you I'm pretty good. So his hands, his technique, and now his mind is telling him, hey, I'm pretty good at. But you have to know why you get building this confidence, and he's building that confidence because his technique and his hands have become really good. Again, has to be consistent as well. Always been a great athlete, but right now he believes he's a good player, and he is. And it's come with success on different reps because of his technique and hands.
wasn't like elitely recruited,
No.
even as a 6'9" guy. What do you think? What do you attribute that to? And I mean, I guess you guys obviously saw something.
Yeah. Well, because he was really heavy too. But we saw a great big athlete, and we liked him. You know, we liked his personality, and we talked to his trainer and things, and they said he was a hard worker, and that's what he is. But he had, you know, before he had weight too high, causing his speed, and then you know, he got to losing weight and he liked what he looked like. Well, he went all the way down like 280 pounds, and now he's about 310, 308. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a really good player, really good.
I think Brad Spence was here in the spring. Just where have you seen him grow the most since the spring that's making him stand out now?
I think the weight room. I think the weight room's done a nice job with him first and foremost. He's built his confidence through there, and now he knows what he's doing and all that. But he makes plays all the time, and he can really run. I mean, he made a play today. It's not sideline to sideline, but one hash all the way to out of bounds on the other hash. That's hard to do, anybody. But he did it. So what's that tell you? That tells you he's got all the ability, but he's using his ability. A lot of guys have ability, they don't use it. But he's one of those guys that does. I think the future really bright for him in the future now for him. I think.
With Amari Wiggins, you said that he could help at center, but maybe guard. Is that somewhere else?
It will be. Unfortunately, Amari had a little bit of an ankle injury, so he lost 2 practices. Our plan was to move him to guard and see if he's one of our top 5 players. We haven't had that opportunity yet. Today was the first day that he was back. So we needed him to get the rust off back at center. But at some point in this camp, we are going to move and look at him at guard.
Are you full tackling for the whole scrimmage Saturday? And did you have any
Yes.
today?
No, we're going to full tackling. We did not have any today. Well, yeah, we did. Al made a couple tackles in the third period, but other than that, no, we didn't. Go Hogs, baby.